Good morning. Welcome to the art project. I'm using this pen. I've been using this pen for every video I've done so far. But because of the nature of today's show, I'm going to switch to a mechanical pencil. When I was a kid, my aunt, she taught me how to draw a square. And y'all are probably, not a square, a cube. You know what? I'm going to draw a little bit with this pen so you can see it better. She taught me to draw a cube by drawing two squares that were pretty identical to one another, one in front of the other, and then connecting the corners. And this, my friends, was the beginning of a lifelong career in art. The problem here is some of these lines you can see. If it's a opaque box, you can see them, and some you can't. Like, you wouldn't be able to see these lines. They would be behind the box. So let me draw it again, and I'm hoping you can see my pencil lines when I do this. I'm going to draw this line, box again, real light. Try and keep it straight. And you connect the corners. It's real light. The reason it's real light is because I know that I'm going to erase certain lines. I'm going to erase that one because it's in the back. I'm going to erase this one because it's in the back. And this one. And so, knowing that, I can speed things up. If I get fast, and by the way, I know it looks a little wonky. There we go. Alright, but I can speed this up a little bit by just drawing the lines that exist. And this takes maybe a little memorization, a little practice. You know the box, know what's supposed to be there, and you can draw it freehand without the construction lines in the back. We're going to keep on going because there's more to this assignment than just drawing some boxes. I also want you to take that box, and I'm just going to draw a basic but a little bit larger right here. By the way, I have a tendency to do things in perspective sometimes by making it smaller at the back and bigger at the front. And if you can get that as well, you'll be impressed with yourself. It'll turn out real good. Well, eventually. Practice makes perfect. Okay, so here we have a cube slightly in perspective. And what I'm going to do with this cube is I'm going to start carving this cube. We're going to carve this cube out and make something other than a cube out of it. This cube is just a guide to show me where the rest of it goes. So for this, I want to do a C for Chad. And I'm going to carve a kind of a square looking C out of this. Carve the corners off first. Then I'm going to carve the middle out just by kind of following these lines. And we can always clean this up a little bit more later. Okay, so now I'm going to follow this line right here from this new corner. Like that. And I'm going to follow this one from that corner. Easy peasy. I'm going to keep going all the way around the C. Now, I don't have these lines, like, they're not completely parallel. I am not that concerned. And then I want to go to the inside, because see, I can't see these lines, just like I can't see that line right there in that corner. I can't see these lines out here, but I can see this one. It would go right there, and right there, and right there, a little bit, and this one right here. It takes a little learning here, to a little examining. You're going to practice, examine. You're going to draw, examine, correct. Draw, examine, correct. Then back here, there's a line right here that goes across the front. This is the curve of my C, sort of, right here. I can't see this one because it's back here behind the C, but I can see this one. Carve that one off. And that pretty much wraps up that C. And I have just carved a C out of that cube. Now this line right here was also, just like this one was carved away, this one right here was also carved away. So we're going to erase that. And this bottom was carved away. So what I'm left with is the C, and I'm going to make it a little bit darker so you can see it. I'm going to make a few corrections as I go. I wanted to do this because, like I said, we're doing form, and we're also drawing from observation. Now, obviously, I'm not drawing from observation right here, but I have now made a C that, if it was made in real life, it was carved out of a block of wood. This is kind of what it looked like. This is real wonky around the front, and some of these lines aren't as straight as they need to be. But this is just kind of a practice round, a learning round. So I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Now this goes behind the C, so I just didn't draw that part. I'm going to take out this part right here, and I'm going to take out a part down here. And this is an H. Can you see the H? Kind of looks like a 4. And I'm going to make it go this way. And everything else is the same. Just carving letters out of a box. I think that when you're drawing from observation, it's good to kind of understand what some things do. Fix my C a little bit. Like it's good to understand. Like when I'm looking at this, say this glue stick, I can't see the bottom of the I can't see the bottom of this through the glue stick. So it's good of me to be able to understand, you know, what this thing is really doing in real life to help structurally get it right. So I think that this is a good practice even for drawing from observation, because we are having to think about what would this letter do if it were carved out of a block of I don't know, stone or something. What would it be like if it was carved out of a block of wood? Okay, well, I lost a little bit of footage there due to me being a dork and not having it lined up with the camera. But anyway, what I'm doing is, first of all, making my name Chad, and I've just got letters spread out. Like, I have letters, but they're just scattered on the floor. And then, because I've only got 4 letters, I also decided to do the art project. And not knowing how much space it was going to take or how much time I would have, I just started using letters that I hadn't already made. So obviously THE for the, but I already had an H, so I skipped it. And then art project, I already had an A, so I skipped an R, and so on. Eventually I go back, I had enough room to go ahead and do all of the letters more than once if I needed to. You'll see. So what you need to do is the same thing. I want you to fill an entire sheet of paper with letters carved out of blocks, letters carved out of cubes. So you need to shoot for around 20 letters. I think I ended up with 17 altogether, so somewhere between 15 and 20 letters would be good. Fill the paper, overlap. One piece of advice would be to do your practice stuff that I did on the left side of the paper on a scrap sheet of paper, and then start your new letters, what you really want to do for your work of art, on another sheet of paper so it's clean and doesn't have, the exercise stuff on it. And another thing is start from the front and work your way towards the back, or in other words, start at the bottom of the paper and work your way up. That way you can put letters behind letters behind letters behind letters. Or don't go over anything with a Sharpie until you are done with all the pencil work. I did it this way so that you could see it in the video clearly what I was doing. I did a little bit of layout with a pencil, and then I went over it with the Sharpie to make it darker so that you could see it. If you enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. Tap the bell wherever it's at on the screen so that you get a notification of the next video. I've been trying to do these drawing challenges like 5 at a time, Monday through Friday, but that means that on Monday you are doing last Friday's video. If you want to get ahead of the game, tap the bell, and you will get notified as soon as I put up the video, which is usually earlier in the day, sort of ahead of time. You'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's it. I hope you're safe. I hope you didn't get the coronavirus yet, or at all. Go make some art. Go carve some letters out of blocks.